Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome.
Vineet, you read my mind. I needed some massage on the city, right?
Anytime.
Where do you? Once again, Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Dāmodara program this evening, an annual program that is hosted by some of you. Today it's being hosted by Vineet ji and Kamna ji. We're very grateful to be here. Thank you for taking the time to host, and to all of you for taking the time to come and participate. Today is also a very auspicious day. Anyone knows what is the celebration today? Sorry? Gopāṣṭami. Gopāṣṭami, yes. Anyone has heard of this? No? Gopāṣṭami? Okay. It's a good one to catch you all today.
Every Saturday is auspicious day. It's a weekend.
So actually, I'd just like to see a show of hands. How many of you have heard the Dāmodara Lila before, and how many have not? Who has heard before Dāmodara Lila? Yeah? Who hasn't? Oh, some of you haven't. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is, you want to narrate? Monica ji?
We can test them. Monica can take the lead.
Yes, exactly. So, for the benefit of those who have not heard the Dāmodara Lila before, I'll just go through it very briefly, because this is the main Lila that happened during this month of Kartik, and it's the main puja that we are doing today. But after that, we'll speak a little bit about Gopāṣṭami. Is that okay, everyone? Yeah. Okay, nice. So everyone's going to help me out here, as Monica ji said, okay, because we've all heard the Dāmodara Lila several times before, so you're going to all help me to narrate this pastime once again, okay? So, Dāmodara Lila took place in the month of Kartik on the day of? Good one. No, it just happens that Gopāṣṭami is falling today. Good try. Which day did it take place?
Out of syllabus.
Sorry? Out of syllabus.
Last time we didn't ask.
Of course we did. I didn't ask because I told you.
For you,
So it took place on Diwali Day. Ah. Okay, looks like not only two people haven't heard the Leela before, it seems like everyone else needs to hear it again. So this took place on Diwali Day. On this day, Mother Yashoda was churning yogurt to make butter. And Krishna, who was sleeping in another room, he came out, he heard his mother churning the butter, churning the yogurt, and he came out and indicated to her that he was hungry. He wanted to drink milk. So Mother Yashoda picked him up and started to breastfeed him. Okay, so while she's breastfeeding him, she's looking at him, he's looking at her, and they, because Lala is so beautiful, So Mother Yashoda is so captivated, she's singing songs about him. And while this is going on, Mother Yashoda hears that, or she remembers that she had kept what had she kept in the kitchen? Milk. She had kept milk on the stove for boiling. So now she heard the milk starting to boil. So she didn't want it to overflow and waste the milk. So what did Mother Yashoda do?
Get the baby in the kettle and went to see the milk.
Yes, thank you. She put baby down, she put baby Krishna down, and she went to the kitchen to attend to the milk, okay? So now she's in the kitchen, and what did Krishna do? Yeah, he was, before that, he was angry. He was angry because his mother was neglecting him, huh? Not attending to him, yes. So he got angry, okay? Kind of like husbands also, you know. So. Sorry. Okay, all the husbands are staring at me. So he got angry, as children tend to do. Okay, so he got angry, and to express his anger, what did he do?
Break the pot.
He broke the pot of yogurt that Mother Yashoda was churning into butter. How did he break it? Because, yes, picked up a small stone and just threw it at the pot and broke it. And of course, it's all matka, right? It's clay pot. So it broke easily and all the butter and everything spilled out. And as if that was not enough, to ensure that everything was completely ruined and cannot be salvaged, what did he do?
Called his friends on.
No, that's later. Kamna ji, you're ahead of me. You're fast forwarding, Lila.
Not revised.
So what did he do on the butter? Yeah, he started dancing and stepping on the butter to make sure that it's completely ruined, okay? And after doing that, then he realized, of course, I've done something wrong and Mother Yashoda is not going to be pleased. So he decided to run away from the scene of the crime, okay? Where did he go? He went to another room where all the previous day's butter that had been churned was kept hanging from the ceiling, okay? And there, he decided that he's not going to have a butter party, okay? So he's going to break all the matkas hanging and he's going to eat all the butter. But he's tiny. He's just only about 3 years old at this time. So how can he reach the butter pots hanging from the ceiling? What did he do? Good try. Good try, but not exactly. What did he do? Monica ji.
Yeah, I was waiting for others to answer.
Okay.
He pulled something so that he could stand on that and break the pot.
Good. What did he pull?
That thing which we used to churn.
Yes, Vandanaji, very nice. Yes, so he pulled this. He took an ukkal. Did I pronounce that correctly? Ukkal. Okay, so he took the ukkal and he turned it upside down. He climbed on top of the ukkal, and then he could reach the butter pots. Yeah, ukkal is what we use to churn, right? In India, this is what it's called. So he's broken all the butter pots and he's taking out all the butter. He's eating, and then he calls his special friends, monkey friends. Okay, so his monkey friends come in through the window, and then he feeds them all the butter. He feeds them whatever butter he can get hold of. And they are so satiated, the monkeys are so full. And they tell him, no more butter, enough, no more butter, we can't eat anymore. And then Krishna takes the butter and throws it on the ground. And he says, this butter is so useless, even the monkeys don't want to eat it. Okay, so he's just making a complete mess there, right? Now in the meantime, what happens? Mother Yashoda comes out of the kitchen, and what does she see? The mess. She sees the broken pot of yogurt, butter is a mess everywhere, and then how does she find out that it must be her son? I mean, of course she thinks it must be her son. Yeah, then she tries to follow him, but she sees his baby footprints, right, with the makhan. So she picks up a stick and she follows the baby footprints to the other room where Krishna is there trying to feed butter to the monkeys. So she enters, she approaches the door. Now Krishna's back is towards the door, but the monkeys are facing the door. So they see Mother Yashoda and they jump out the window and they just run away. So and then Krishna understands something is not right. So he turns around and he sees his mother standing there with a stick in her hand. This is very unusual for him, because when we talk about motherly love, we always quote Mother Yashoda as an example of motherly love. So for him to see Mother Yashoda holding a stick in her hand is frightening, it's scary to him, okay? It's unusual. So Krishna also now starts to run away from his mother. So Krishna is tiny, small child, he's running. Mother Yashoda is elderly and she's big-bodied as well. She's quite heavy-bodied. So she's huffing and puffing and running after him, and he's trying to run away from her. So they're both running around the house, okay, trying to evade each other, like this. So this is going on for some time, and Krishna cannot be caught. But Mother Yashoda, does she give up? She doesn't give up, okay? She's decided that anyhow today I am going to catch my son and I'm going to bind him. I'm going to punish him. Because every day all the gopis in Vrindavan come and complain to me. Come and complain to me that your son comes and steals butter. And I defend my son, saying that why should he come and steal butter in your house? We have plenty of butter in our house, right? So why should he come and steal in your house? But today he's shown me that he's made mischief in his own home. So I have to discipline him. I have to teach him a lesson. So she doesn't give up. And so she perseveres. She keeps running after him. Now initially Krishna doesn't want to be caught. Okay. Now if God doesn't want to do something, can anyone force him to do it? Right? So initially he doesn't want to be caught. But then he sees Mother Yashoda. He sees her endeavor. He sees how she's perspiring and she's tired. Okay, but she's so determined. She's so determined that I am going to catch my Lala today. Seeing her determination, Krishna allows himself to be caught. Okay, allows himself to be caught. And then now, Mother Yashoda decides, okay, I've caught Lala and I have to make sure that he can't do more mischief. Okay, so she decides to bind him. She decides to tie him up. And tie him up to what? To the ukal. She decides to tie him up to the ukal because she thinks that the ukal was a partner in crime. Okay, to help him to steal the butter. So she decides that, okay, both the ukal also should be punished. Because in the spiritual world, everything has chetana. It's not inanimate. Like the sofa here is an inanimate object, has no consciousness. The carpet, the cabinet has no consciousness. But in the spiritual world, everything has consciousness. Okay, so the ukal also has consciousness. So she decides to bind Krishna to the ukal to punish both of them. So she gets the rope from her house. Now they're gwalas, right? So they have a lot of rope in the house, right? A lot of rope. How many? Anyone remembers how many cows Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai have?
30,000.
30,000. Good try. 30,000.
Not even close.
Anyone else? Going for a higher bid? Yeah, no punishment for the wrong answer. Don't worry. Try.
50,000.
50,000. Okay, good. Higher? Anyone higher? Yeah. 300,000. Good try. Good try. Anyone else? Those who have heard it before? Kamna ji? Don't remember? Monica ji? Huh?
I don't know, I can get 1,100.
1,100. You show some auspicious number. Vandana ji, do you remember?
Something very high number.
Very high number. Okay. Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai had 900,000 cows. 900,000 cows. Now that's a lot of rope. That's a lot of rope to tie up the cows, okay? So she gets some rope from the Goshala, from the stable, and she tries to bind Krishna around the utkal. And when she tries to make a knot, when she tries to bind him, she finds that the rope is too short. Too short by how much?
3.
2 something.
2 hands.
Something like fingers.
You got the 2 right. Yes, 2 fingers. Yes. Short by 2 fingers. Okay. So she gets more rope from the stable, from the cow shed. She joins the rope and she tries to now bind him again. And miraculously, she finds that again the rope is 2 fingers too short. Now she gets more rope, and she, in fact, at the end, she gets all the rope that she has in her home. Okay, 900,000 cows, that's a lot of rope. She ties them all together, and when she tries to bind Krishna, she finds that the rope is still 2 fingers short. Krishna hasn't grown in size, still the same tiny little boy, but she's not able to bind him. Okay? Now this 2 fingers short represents something. Okay, before I get to that, she's endeavoring and she's not able to tie him. But does Mother Yashoda give up? She still does not give up. She still perseveres. She's still determined that anyhow she's going to bind her son today. And seeing her determination, again, Krishna allows himself to be tied. Okay? So now these 2 fingers represent something. Can anyone remember? What does it mean? The rope is always short by 2 fingers?
You just need to take 2 steps towards Krishna.
Okay.
One step I will take, and one step the God, Krishna will take.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, good. Yes, close, pretty close. Okay. So the 2 fingers represent, the first finger represents our effort, our endeavor, our perseverance in doing something. We all know if we want to achieve something, we have to keep at it, right? We can't do it a couple of times and then we give up, then we're not going to achieve anything. But just like Mother Yashoda was persistent in her endeavors, so the first finger represents our consistent effort. But just effort alone is not enough, right? We've all had experience in life where sometimes we want to achieve something. We put in our entire heart and soul into it, but it doesn't happen, right? Why? Because there's no sanction from above, right? It's not sanctioned by Krishna. So then, no matter how much we endeavor, it's not going to happen. But when these 2 things come together, our effort and Krishna's sanction, His mercy, His blessing, when these 2 things come together, then we are successful in our... Yeah, makes sense, right? Yes, makes a lot of sense. So this is the lesson that we learn from these 2 fingers short. Now, after Mother Yashoda binds him, she goes into the kitchen to attend to her work. And in the meantime, Krishna is now bound to the ukkal, right? And he sees, what does he see in the courtyard of his home? What does he see? Anyone?
2 trees.
2 trees. Okay, yes. And these are very special, extraordinary trees. What are these trees actually?
These are sons of
Yes, they are 2 sons of Kubera who were cursed to take birth as trees. Who cursed them? Narad Muni cursed them, okay, to take birth as trees. So what happened was, these 2 beings are called Manigriva and Nalakuvara. They were the sons of Kubera. Who is Kubera?
takes care of money.
Takes care of money. And Lakshmiji then? No, excellent try. It's very good.
It is related to money.
Yes. Rishiji, excellent. Okay, Jai Ho. Yes, Kuber is the treasurer of
Have you got
the...
some loan from him or what?
We wish we could all take interest-free loans from Kubera. But yes, he's the treasurer of the demigods. Lakshmiji is the goddess of wealth. Yeah? So, but Kubera is in charge of the treasury of the khazana of the demigods. So his sons, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, they were in the heavenly planets, and one time they were not behaving very appropriately. They were taking bath in a holy place without any clothes on, and they were drunk, they were intoxicated, and also they were with young girls who were also naked, didn't have any clothes on. So they were cavorting like this in the lake, and at that time Narada Muni passed by, and the young girls, when they saw Narada Muni, they immediately covered themselves out of respect for a sadhu. But these 2 young men were so intoxicated, they were oblivious to the presence of Narada Muni, and they just continued what they were doing. So Narada Muni, when he saw them, he said that, you are heavenly beings, and your behavior is most inappropriate. and you're setting a bad example for others. So you don't belong here. Your consciousness is very poor. You don't belong in the heavenly planets. So I curse you to go down to Buloka, to the earthly planet, and take birth there. So when they heard, not only take birth, but take birth as trees. Take birth as trees in the earthly planet. So when they heard this curse, then these two beings, they came to their senses and they fell at the feet of Narada Muni asking for forgiveness. And then Narada Muni said, I won't take back my curse, but along with the curse, I will give you a blessing. He said that you will take birth as trees, but not in Lohas Park, not in Kowloon Park, not even in Hong Kong Park. You'll take birth as trees in the Angan of Nanda Maharaj. And you will stand there for thousands and thousands of years, and you will be able to witness the Bal Gopal Lila of Lord Krishna himself. And then Krishna himself one day will come and free you from this curse. So this was the benediction he gave them. Right? So now Krishna is in the Angan now, he's tied to the mortar. Now before I get to that, I just want to emphasize one point, that Manigriva and Nalakuvara, these two celestial beings, they were intoxicated. They had actually drunk liquor, so they were intoxicated and they were not in their senses as to what is the appropriate behavior. But through their example, we can understand that intoxication can come in many forms. It's not only through liquor. Now these two beings, they were the son of Kubera, okay, treasurer of the wealth. So they had that pride, that arrogance that my father is in charge of all the money. We can get money anytime we want. So wealth can be a cause of intoxication. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is that they were young men and they're celestial beings, so they're very beautiful. They're very good looking. So beauty is another thing that can cause intoxication, steal our intelligence. Yeah. So wealth, beauty. What else? They were very talented. These young men. They were, the heavenly planets. They are. They have the ability to sing very beautifully, play musical instruments, and sing very beautifully. And that's what they were doing. They were singing with the young girls. So when someone has a special talent, a special skill that they are blessed with, this can also become a cause of pride and arrogance. Yeah. Another thing is, as we said, they were the sons of Kubera. That's a high birth. That's considered a high birth. So when someone is born in like an aristocratic family or some high class family, that also becomes a cause for arrogance and pride, which can, cause us to become intoxicated by these things. Did I miss out something? Wealth, beauty, talent, high birth. Education, yes. Yeah, so they were celestial beings. They are quite intelligent. They're more intelligent than those of us who are on the earthly plane, okay? But misuse of intelligence, it's no point having intelligence if we misuse it. So all these things can contribute to someone's so-called, intoxication. It's not only through liquor. So it is a reminder for us. We may all have different kinds of blessings from the Lord. Whatever we may have, whether it's good birth or high education or some special talents or skills or beauty or wealth, we have to remember that this is all blessings from the Lord. It's not, it's not something that we have got ourselves. Because if it really belonged to us, we would be able to take it with us when we go. And we all know that it doesn't happen. We have to leave everything behind. So it's on loan. It's on loan from Krishna. And we have to leave it behind when we go. So nothing to be proud about, okay? It's borrowed plumes. So now we come back to the Lila. Krishna is now in the Angan of Nanda Maharaj, and he sees these two trees, and he's reminded about the curse that Narada Muni had given and the blessings that he had given to them. So now Krishna understands, okay, I have to go. I have to keep the word of my devotee, Narada Muni. I need to free these beings from their curse. So he goes, he crawls. He's still tied to the ukal, right? So he crawls in between these two trees, and then and the mortar gets stuck. The ukal gets stuck between the two trees. And with just a little bit of jerk, he pulls the mortar, he pulls the ukkal, and the two trees, they fall down. And out of the two trees, then these beings come, these original spiritual beings appear, and they offer their prayers and gratitude to Krishna, and they do parikram around him, and then they go back to the spiritual world. They go back to the spiritual world. Now, that's pretty much the Lila. That is pretty much the Lila. And after performing this Lila, Krishna became known as Dāmodara. Why Dāmodara? Why not some other name? Does anyone remember? Hitalji?
Dam is the rope with which Mata Yashoda tied him, and
Yes.
Udar is the tummy.
Yes.
So Dāmodara.
Yes, because Mother Yashoda tied him around the belly with the rope, therefore he's known as Dāmodara. It comes from two words, Dam and Udar. So he's known as Dāmodara. And in this month of Kartik, we worship Dāmodara. The recommendation in the Shastra is that we worship Lord Dāmodara by reciting, narrating this pastime, this Lila, remembering it, meditating upon it, and then we offer diyas to worship him. Very simple. Just offer a ghee diya. You can see the picture there of Mother Yashoda trying to bind Krishna around the ukkal. Yes? So this is Dāmodara Lila in a nutshell. Just one more lesson before we move on to talking about Gopāṣṭami. Now, the trees that were there in the Angan of Nanda Maharaj, they are very old trees. They've been standing there for thousands of years. So you can imagine that the roots must be very, very deep. Okay, really. So they're very strong trees, very strong trees. And Krishna is a little baby, right? And he's tied to an ukkal. How big is the ukkal? It's made of wood. It's a small, okay, a regular size ukkal. And a rope is a rope, okay? So Krishna, when he crawled between the two trees and the mortar got stuck there, if he were to pull, logically, either the ropes should break or the ukkal should break. Yes? Logical? But that didn't happen. Instead, the two trees fell down. How do we explain this? How do we explain this? Any thoughts? Krishna Lila. Okay, yes, of course, definitely it's a Lila. But Krishna's Lila, there's always something for us to learn. It's very instructive, okay? So there's so many things in this Lila we can learn. I'm just highlighting a couple of points. So this thing that the rope didn't break, the ukkal didn't break, rather the trees fell down, it highlights to us that we know that on its own the ukkal cannot push the trees down, neither can the rope, okay? But because the rope and the ukkal were tied to Krishna, were connected to Krishna, they were able to do something which they ordinarily would not have been able to do. Yeah? So this is instructive for us. On our own, we are limited in our ability to do many things. But when we are connected to the strongest of the strong, the greatest of the greatest, then we can achieve many things in life which we would not be able to do on our own. So that connection to Krishna fills the gap, makes us strong on so many different levels. Is that okay? Yeah. So some beautiful lessons to take away from this Lila, but I just wanted to, narrate this so that we at least remember what the Lila is. And when later on we will be singing the Dāmodara Ashtakam and we will be offering the diyas. And while we're doing that, please meditate on this, what we have just heard, what has happened. Okay. So now we're going to speak a little bit about Gopāṣṭami, since it's a very special day today. I'm going to invite my husband to speak a few words about Gopāṣṭami.
So fortunate, can speak in front of her. I'm sorry?
Only in public.
Absolutely. I just moved a little bit away. In public also, when I speak, enough. Keep on pinching. Jokes aside, before I speak something about Gopāṣṭami, the significance of Gopāṣṭami, One more thing I would like to highlight from this pastime of Krishna's and Dāmodara Lila. Narada Muni cursed Kubera's 2 sons to become trees. Now see, Narada Muni is a sage. Deva Rishi. Normally saintly people, when they imagine about trees, they may think about banyan tree, peepal tree, burger tree, right? He did not think of those very holy trees. Why did he think about Arjuna trees? Why did he curse them to become Arjuna trees? Not peepal tree, not burger tree, no banyan tree. Not those holy trees. Why Arjuna trees?
Arjuna tree is more useful to understand to serve people, to teach them a lesson to serve other than
Compared to Arjuna trees, yeah. Correct. Thank you for sharing that. See, from health perspective also, for peepal tree, they always emit oxygen, right? That's why yogis, they meditate sitting under the peepal trees. There is a reason why Narada Muni caused them to become Arjuna trees, because Arjuna trees normally, their roots go very deep in the ground. So Narada Muni thought that after taking birth in Kuvera's family, that means they must have done many pious activities to become qualified to take birth in Kuvera's family. Right? So after getting that chance of high birth in such a high family, their consciousness is so low. Right? They are so contaminated here. Their desires, material desires of sense gratification, they are so deeply rooted in their hearts. So, comparing in that way that material desires are so deeply rooted in their hearts, so the tree also should be such whose roots are quite deep inside. Correct? And generally, Arjuna tree actually, some of you, if you know, maybe Rishi may know, Arjuna, the bark of Arjuna tree is used for medicines for the heart disease. It's a tonic for the heart. So generally, it is said, people who take that kind of tonic, they become stone-hearted. Biologically. Supposed to be biologically very strong heart. So Narada Muni saw, that they don't have any compassion. They don't have any piety in their hearts. Because they were very oblivious. When Narada Muni arrived, the women, the girls, they became very conscious and they ran away. But these 2 sons of Kubera, they were not bothered. So that's why Narada Muni chose Arjuna trees. Right? Now coming to the Gopāṣṭami. So what is the significance of Gopāṣṭami? Does anyone know what is the significance of Gopāṣṭami? Why this particular day is celebrated in the Kartik month, the Shukla Pakshta, waxing moon nights? What's the meaning of Gopa?
Gopis.
Gopis,
Cow.
Gopa means cow herd men who take care of the cows.
Gopis are the ladies, Gopas are the men. So you're right.
So on these days, the Gopas, they worship the cows, the source of their livelihood. So they worship the cows. And why do they worship the cows? Yes, very true. Gai Mata hoti hai.
livelihood.
You know that once one devotee was asked that which animal's milk is the best. So the devotee said, buffalo milk. So the reporter thought, you are a devotee, you are a Vaishnava, why don't you say cow? And she repeated the question, which animal's milk is the best? Again he said, buffaloes. So she objected, she said, I cannot get it, you are a Vaishnava, you are a Krishna devotee, but you are saying buffalo's milk. So he said, you asked me animal. Buffalo is an animal. Cow we don't consider as animal. Cow for us is a mother. So that doesn't come in the category of animals. Right? And milk from the cows is not considered as the ordinary milk. It's a nectar. So that also we don't treat as a milk. Right? So many things we can learn from these things. So yes, on today's day they worship the cows because cows not only the source of livelihood. Do you know that when the demigods they approached Lord Vishnu asking for shelter, proper shelter. So Lord Vishnu gave them the shelter in the body of the cow. 33 types of different categories of demigods, they were given the shelter in the body of a cow. Now then, as usual, Lord Vishnu forgot about his wife. So Lakshmi ji complained to him that you gave place of residence, place of shelter to all other demigods and all other demigoddesses, but what about me? Vishnu says, sorry, full house now, no place, no vacancy. But then Lakshmi ji said, you have to find some place for me. So then Vishnu thought about it, then he said, only one place, if you consider. Lakshmi ji said, okay, something relating to cow. So Lord Vishnu said, cow dung, gobar. If you accept, agree to reside in the gobar, cow dung, then you can reside. Lakshmi ji said, okay. Now this is the reason it is said that Gwalas, Gopis, they were so rich. They were richer than King Kamsa. Because they would smear the cow dung on the walls, on the floor. Now also many of villages, they do that, right? Actually it's antiseptic. Reptiles and other poisonous snakes and all, they cannot go there where the cow dung is smeared. So Lakshmi ji gets attracted there. Now they were not a big businessman and all that, but still they were much, much richer than King Kamsa because Lakshmi ji was residing there. So on today's day, it is said, if you are not able to practically worship a cow, do it mentally also. That also helps a lot. Now mentally you can offer whatever you want to offer. That also works. Why I'm saying it works? Because see, whatever things are mentioned in scriptures, they have some logical, very subtle, very sublime reasons. When Krishna was born in the prison to Devaki and Vasudeva, he was helpless. He was in the prison. He could not give anything in charity. But he did a sankalpa. He said, when I'm released from the prison house, then I will give in charity. So at that time, he just did a sankalpa in his mind. So sankalpa also has so much power. We should not undermine it. And whenever that ability is there, then if it is possible, practically we can do it. But sankalpa we can do whenever it is possible. Whenever physically, tangibly it is not possible to do something, some seva, then at mental level we can do it. And that also is acceptable in the spiritual world. So significance is there of the Gopāṣṭami, whole month actually. After Gopāṣṭami, when Ekadashi comes, then 5 days. The 5 final days of Kartik month, known as Bhishma Panchaka. If we have not been able to do any kind of austerity, any kind of tapasya, any kind of vrat during the month, don't worry. 12th November to 16th November, 5 days, they are very significant. On those days, whatever vrat you can follow, do it. That's the concluding period. And whatever we do, the beneficial effect are multiplied. So these 5 days are known as Bhishma Panchaka. So please remember that 12th of November to 16th of November. Whatever you can do. There are different levels of fast, since you asked. Some people, they just only survive on water. They just only drink water and milk. And some people, they eat some fruits in addition to water and milk. Then some people, they eat some vegetables as well. In addition to milk, water, fruits. And then they eat vegetables as well. And then some people, in addition to all these things, they eat non-grains food items. Ekadashi ka, jo Navratri mein bhi jo khate na, Singade ka aata, Rajgiri ka aata. So those kind of non-grain food items can be consumed. So avoid eating grains and beans. That also is acceptable. Whatever your body allows you to follow. See, our Sanatana Dharma is so beautiful, so wonderful, so practical. These kind of things, injunctions, they are not imposed on people. They are not compulsory. According to your personal ability. We need to fast, not starve. We need to do tapasya, right? Not torture our body. torturing is not acceptable. Because our body, if it is healthy, then whatever devotional service can be possible, we can do it. Otherwise, if we just, out of so much of impulsive nature or false enthusiasm, we try to do something and the body collapses, then whatever we are able to do, we are supposed to do that also we cannot do. So Sanatana Dharma doesn't ask us to torture our body. Just do tapasya, whatever is possible. Of course, we need to find a balance. Otherwise, the mind can be very tricky. Then tomorrow if you want to follow and then some temptation is there, oh, Vinod ji ne kaha tha, torture nahi karna hai. Ye bhi kha lo, wo bhi kha lo. Right? So we need to find a balance in that. Yeah. Training is important. So yeah, I will stop here. If anybody wants to add anything or ask something.
So everyone understood what is Gopāṣṭami? Why we celebrate Gopāṣṭami? Yeah, it's to honor Mother Cow. As we said, in our culture, we consider cow to be our mother. She gives us milk. Actually, if you see the cow, she needs very little, but she gives so much in return. We just need to give her a place to stay and just some grass or something to eat. Okay, hay, a grass, a little bit something to eat. But she gives milk, which can be turned into so many different delicacies. And milk also, cow's milk, is scientifically proven to have different qualities compared to the milk of other animals. And it has been proven to have a very high content of vitamin B, especially B12. We hear these days, B12 people are lacking and you need to take B12 supplements. Cow's milk has B12. It's also been known to protect against radiation. So when someone is recovering from cancer or going through chemotherapy or radiotherapy, cow's milk is recommended to protect the body from the ill effects of the radiation. And from a Shastric point of view, cow's milk refines the brain tissue. So it gives us the ability to understand things more easily. So that this is cow's, and that's just milk. The gobar, as we were saying, okay, we don't use it in the cities, but we should, actually. And in the villages, we know that we use the gobar a lot, and it's proven, again, scientifically proven to be antiseptic. When we use that to clean our house, it's totally antiseptic. So that's just two of the things, and then cow, we have also the cow urine. Cow urine also, Gomutra, is also, again, has many medicinal properties. All the things that have been mentioned in our Shastras before, modern science is only now, quote-unquote, discovering it. I would say they are rediscovering what ancient, Vedic culture has already discovered thousands of years before. So they're basically corroborating, modern science is corroborating what has already been mentioned before. So cow, Mother Cow, she gives us so much. She gives us so much. And, not only she is so selfless, she gives us so much in, asking for very little, but gives us so much in return. And we know that this is part of our culture. Mother Cow is, worshipped in our culture. But you may have heard that in recent years, even in so-called modern society, the importance of the cow has been given a new status, elevated to a new status. Because in general, Western culture, sometimes they laugh at us Indians. How can you worship a cow? It's an animal. So they think we are regressive. They think we are backward, like this. For them, cow is an animal. So they just slaughter and they just eat the meat. They eat beef. So they look down upon Indians thinking that, this is what kind of strange culture, backward culture is this? You worship cow like this, okay? And unfortunately, many Indians are also influenced by this thinking. So the sanctity of cows has also become minimized in Indian society, in Vedic culture. There are many Indians who eat beef without even understanding the consequences of, what we are doing. It's like eating the flesh of your own mother. We wouldn't consider doing that, But Mother Cow is mother. So to eat beef, it's extremely, extremely wrong to do that. And the point I was trying to make is that Indians, one thing, we are beginning to value less, mother cow in our own culture. But conversely, you see that in Western culture, in Western they are starting to understand the value of cows. Have you heard not so long ago about this therapy called cow cuddling? Cow hugging, cow cuddling. Have you heard of this? No? Yes. Several years ago, especially during COVID times, especially during the pandemic, we know we had to isolate, right? So isolation, mental health became a big problem for a lot of people because they couldn't socialize. And human beings, we are meant to socialize. So because this was not available anymore, a lot of them started having issues, withdrawal symptoms and anxiety, depression, like this. And one of the things that helped during COVID time, it started at that time, it's still going on now, is cow cuddling. You go to a farm and you hug a cow and you cuddle a cow. And so many people have been cured of depression and anxiety just by this act. The cow is the most gentle animal. I'm using the word animal, but she's so gentle. She is so gentle. How many of you have actually done some go seva? Yeah? What kind of go seva? You feed the cow? Feeding? Yes. Yeah. Feeding a lot of us have done because it's in our sanskar, yeah? It's in our culture. We know we have to feed the cows. How about anything else? Have you brushed a cow? Milk the cow? You've done that?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. For me, I find that fascinating because I can never get that right. And I'm always afraid of being kicked by the cow as well. So, yeah, milking, that's fantastic.
The dung I put the dust in the village.
Yes, the cow dung. Yes, yeah, nice. But for many of us, our association with cows goes as far as to just feeding them. Okay, we know we have to feed them. But if you spend time with cows, you'll find that they are so loving. They're so gentle, they're so loving, they're so affectionate. And they sense your moods. They know how you're feeling. For example, if you go to milk a cow, if you're in a bad mood, angry mood, the cow will not give milk. She will not give milk. Because she knows you are not in the right frame of mind. Same with the bull also. Bulls have to be trained because bulls can be used for plowing the land for agriculture, right? But they have to be trained to do that. So the bull keeper to train, they have to be very calm. They have to be very patient. So when we deal with cows, if we are not calm and patient, the cows will not interact with us. They will not respond with us. So automatically when we are around cows, we have to be gentle. We have to be calm. We have to be tolerant. Like these, all the qualities that we need in today's fast-paced, rajasic world. Everything is in the mode of passion. Fast. Get this done, get that done. To-do list, certain time frame. This is how we function. But when we are around cows, we have to automatically slow down. We have to calm down. We have to, we have to be sattvic, basically, because the cow is a sattvic animal. Okay, so when we are around cows, we take on those qualities of becoming more sattvic. And this is very helpful for people who have anxiety disorders, depression disorders like this. So cow hugging, cow cuddling is a big thing now. In the West, they charge. They charge money. You go to a farm to cuddle a cow for a short while, they actually charge you money for doing this. In India, we can easily, okay, find a cow and just do that. But cows are very, very special animals. They're very special animals. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, we're celebrating Gopāṣṭami. Yes, there is a spiritual, religious significance behind that. But let us also understand that, you can see the pattern, you can see the trend, that whatever our Vedic culture and, Shastras have told us, have been telling us for thousands of years. Initially, non-Indians, non-Bharatiyas, they sneer. Tisniyates, or they say, oh, this is all superstition, this and that. But you can see that later on, so-called modern science starts to validate what our culture is saying through discoveries. They say it's scientific discovery, this and that, but Are Baba, this has been said in our Shastras for thousands of years ago already. Okay? So it's sad that we Indians, who come from such a rich culture and heritage, we know very little about our own rich heritage, and we only accept it, or we only take it seriously when we get validation from the West. Isn't it sad? Yeah? How did we get to this point? It's sad. It really is sad. So it's time for us to, wake up. Jiv Jago. Wake up and understand that what we have, our culture and tradition that we have, is rich, it's meaningful, and it stands on its own merit. It doesn't need validation from anywhere else, okay? Or anyone else. It stands on its own merit. But the problem is we are not putting in the effort to learn and to imbibe it and to put it into practice. And it is our loss. If we don't do that, it's our loss. Our loss meaning not only those of us sitting here, but if we don't value it, what is going to happen to our next generation? They'll see a cow and they'll just say, oh, it's food. Right? They'll lose the sanctity of cows, why we do puja, what she can give us, why we worship cows. All this is going to be lost if we ourselves don't understand and don't teach it to our children. So let's start with ourselves, okay? This is the first point to understand that, our Vedic culture, our sanskar, our Bharatiya sanskar does not need validation from any quarter. It stands on its own merit. Let's be proud of it, okay? Let's take it seriously, be proud of it, adopt it seriously in our lives, put it into practice, teach it to our next generation. Is that okay, everyone? Kar sakte ho? Yes, we all have a duty to do this. Ye Modi ji ka kaam nahi hai. It is not his responsibility to akela kitna kar sakti ho, right? How much can Modi ji and Amit Shah do? Right? They're doing as much as is possible, but it's not their responsibility. Whose responsibility is it? Ours. Each one of us sitting here, we have to do our part. We have to do our part. Not just because we are Bharatiya, so we have to, protect this one. No, because Sanatan Dharma is not for Hindus. Sanatan Dharma is for everyone. Vasudeva Kudumpakam. Sanatan Dharma is for everyone. It's not for Hindus. And if you look at the principles of Sanatan Dharma, you will see that it is for human beings. It's not for Indians or Chinese or Americans or whoever. It is for human beings. Manushya ke liye. So we have to do our part. Okay? So let's take this seriously and do our part. Oh, I thought Monica ji was saying okay to me. So, and one way we can do this is, when we go to house programs, we always bring books to distribute to people, for you to read, for you to share with others. Knowledge is very important. Without knowledge, we won't know what is the reason behind the things we do. So one way we can help to uphold Sanatan Dharma and also to propagate is to read the books and to share it, give it to others so that they can also read and learn something from it. So we brought some books. We request you, I make a humble appeal, humble request to everyone. Please take these books, read them, and share them with others. Is that okay, everyone? Okay. Yes? Yes, thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we will sing the Dāmodara Ashtakam, which is what we do to worship Lord Dāmodar. We heard the Lila just now. We're going to sing the Ashtakam, and while singing, you can come forward to offer the diyas and also some flower petals. Our devotees will help you. And as I said before, when we are singing the Ashtakam, offering the diya, please remember the Lila that we just discussed. Any aspect of it which strikes you, just remember and meditate upon him. And it's always a good practice to offer our gratitude, deepest gratitude to the Lord. Yeah? Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
One humble request. She mentioned अभी आप कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते हैं. Everybody nodded their head. कर सकना एक बात है, लेकिन करेंगे कि नहीं वो दूसरी बात है. कर सकना सामर्थ्य है, right? You are able to do it. But whether you have willingness to do it or not, that's important. So have to do it. Should do it. Okay? Thank you.
Namamishvaram Sachit Anantarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Vrachamanam Namamishvaram Sachit Anantarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Vrachamanam Yashoda Piyolukala Param Krishnam Madhyantato Drutya Gopya Yashoda Piyolukala Param Krishnam Madhyantato Drutya Gopya Rudantamurnetra Yugmam Nirjantam Param Bhoja Yugmena Satanka Netram Rudantamurnetra Yugmam Nirjantam Yugmena Satanka Netram Muhusvasakam Padri Rekankakanta Sitagraivam Dāmodaram Bhaktipadam Muhusvasakam Padri Rekankakanta Sitagraivam Dāmodaram Bhaktipadam Iti Lila Virananda Kunde Swagosham Himajantam Makyapayantam Lila Virananda Kunde Swagosham Makyapayantam Tadiye Sitanishu Bhaktajitatvam Puna Prema Kastam Sada Vritti Vande Puna Prema Kastam Sada Vritti Vande Varam Deva Moksham Na Moksha Vadimva Yachanyam Vinelam Varishadamiha Moksham Na Moksha Vadimva Yachanyam Vinelam Varishadamiha Idam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasa Virasam Kimanye Idam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasa Virasam Idam Te Mukham Bojam Atyanta Nilar Vritam Kuntalai Snigdha Raktascha Gopya Mukham Bojam Atyanta Nilar Vritam Kuntalai Snigdha Raktascha Gopya Muhuschumbitam Bimba Raktadaram Me Manasa Virastam Manam Lakshanapay Muhuschumbitam Bimba Raktadaram Me Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I took for my daughter and then I took for my 5-year-old niece. Stop it up. Get into the habit of reading.
Anybody? Any more books?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, some water.
I'm Sri Radhika. Yeah.
आपका पंजाब से हैं?
Your name?
Perfection of yoga.
Your weakness is from Maharaj.
फ्यूचर ठीक है मेरी शुरू बारह नहीं पड़ेगी क्या अब नहीं करना मैंने ये काम
Really?